Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Real People Gaming. My name is Dustin James.
And my name is Jen Uchin. Real People Gaming is an organization where we cover things all gaming, all NJ, and a little bit outside of that. We talk to esports coordinators, tournament organizers, content creators, and just fans.
We recently sat down for an on-site discussion with our good friends Justin and Anthony and covered a pretty wide gamut of topics. Let's take a listen.
Hello, my name is the Great Justin. Yes, the Great Justin, that's my name. No, really, my name is Justin Gayu. So I am the anime news manager for a site known as Operation Rainfall. If you guys like RPGs or just anything Japanese related and also anime, come check out our site. We do reviews, interviews. I have a few, but unfortunately I haven't been able to write them up. I still have a lot of content that I haven't even published yet. I just recently did a couple of reviews. I reviewed a game called Rival Megagun, which is a really awesome shoot 'em up. Nice little throwback to the 90s. In addition to that, I am also the co-host of XenoChat, a podcast about everything related to the Xeno games like Xenogears, Xenosaga, and Xenoblade. My friend Tyler and I, we usually get somebody else from the community to come in with us and just ramble on for like an hour or two about anything that has to do with those games. We just had an episode come out about religion and all the religious themes seen in Xenogears and Xenosaga, and we had two other people on with us who are very well equipped to talk about that, and it got pretty deep. So if you're really interested in the religious influences in the series, definitely check out that episode. But we've also had other ones, such as an episode about Shion. We had an episode about Xenogears, just Xenogears itself. And we're going to be doing some more, like we want to do an episode on Melia from Xenoblade, since she's an amazing character. And we're probably going to just spend the whole podcast crying because, man, the stuff that she goes through is insane. But yeah, so check us out. We're on Spotify. I think we're also on SoundCloud, so we're on so many things. But we're also on Twitter, XenoChat. Check us out there. If you like that and you want to see my written content, you can follow me on Operation Rainfall or follow me on Twitter at JustGiyu. Yeah, and I go to most events on the East Coast. Well, not most, but I go to a lot of events on the East Coast. If it's in Jersey and New York, I'll probably pop my head in to say hi. So yeah, that's kind of who I am.
Cool. Before you say what you are doing, I didn't know you did a Xeno cast.
We just started it recently, so.
When I was in fifth grade, me and my friend Sarah, we took the Japanese clips from Xenosaga, the first one. Maybe it was the first three because we were super into it. Right. And we would write our own English subtitles but make them really dirty. And we called it XX Xenosaga. And it was just us making porn scenes, because there's this one with Shion in the shower. There's this one scene, and we just went out with that one. It was crazy. We made her say the dirtiest stuff. I can't find it. I can't find it. I've been. If anyone finds that,
if you can dig that up, that's gold right now.
XX Xenosaga, dirty English subtitles over Xenosaga Eclipse. Please tell us what you do.
Oh yeah, sorry. No.
Who are you?
That private chat that you and I are in, it just seems to have exploded.
Yeah, we'll deal about that one later.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later.
Drama?
No drama.
Bring it on record.
Yeah.
Who you hating?
Yeah, we'll pause it when you talk about it.
Obviously, it's Jen. I've chatted about how much of a bitch she is. I hate Jen.
Honestly,
Fuck
I
Jen.
press the press. Get on there. Somebody create a forum on how much they hate me.
I hate Jen.gov.
And Jen.
Gov. That's appropriate. We have a governmental organization entirely dedicated to hating Jen.
That's your tax dollars at work.
All right. Hi, I'm Anthony. You might know me from such prestigious channels as Retro Roulette, or more recently, I've done some guest episodes on Subparcade. Those are actually very small channels, and please like, comment, and subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Definitely do it.
And I want you to take that bell, hit it once, and then hit it again. Never follow me. Anyway, awkward jokes aside, cringeworthy jokes aside, what my show is about is what we do is we take a random number generator, we roll a number, whatever number that is on an alphabetized list of retro video games on that game's particular system's library, we play it, and we have to play it for half an hour, regardless of how good or how shitty it is. And let me tell you, when people say that Assassin's Creed 3 is a bad game, they never fucking played half of the garbage we've played. I mean, we've played things ranging from Beetlejuice on the NES to fucking LJN Magic. We've played things like Winky the Little Bear on PlayStation 1, which to those of you who are uninitiated, it's basically the spiritual prequel to Animal Soccer World. It was made by the same company. We've dealt with some diarrhea levels of fucking cocky doo-doo bad shit. It's bad. But anyway, we've also been blessed by the RNGesus for some really good games like F-Zero X, and I guess I'll do a spoiler. We recently rolled on a game called a little humble game that will be upcoming called that's right, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes on the GameCube.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we got lucky. Wait till you hear our reaction. We recorded our reaction. I was rolling that. It's gonna be awesome. We're also I know this is gonna be airing relatively soon. We have a Discord and we have a video explaining everything. But we're gonna be doing a Smash Ultimate tournament that sort of follows the theme of randomness with the show. You're gonna the short of it is you get assigned a character in the roster via the random number generator, and it'll be a singles only tournament that goes eventually to one grand prize winner, and there will be an amiibo shipped to your residence as a prize. But we think it's a great time. It's also a great way for you to plug your content if you happen to be a content creator. Again, our channel is Retro Roulette. It's all one word. Not to be confused, there's another channel called Retro Roulette Gaming. That's not us. But we do have a video explaining the tournament. So for additional details, please check us out on YouTube.
We'll put a link on that too.
And sorry?
We'll add the link to it.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be much appreciated. But yeah, definitely check us out. Our show is funny. I promise it's funny. But it's, if you want me to just basically describe it, it's basically a poor man's Game Grumps with a random spin on it. We promise it's good. Please come, please watch, please check us out. I'm not going to beg you to subscribe. I'm not going to beg you for likes. And I seriously mean it. Hit that bell and then hit it again so you're never notified of when we upload some shit.
Just randomly occur onto it. I'm Jen Yuchin. I ran gaming tournaments for a year and a half for Microsoft, and now I'm doing my own thing with this podcast, vlogs, and New Jersey content creator, tournament organizer, and anything NJ promotion. That's what we're all about. And my partner in crime is Dustin James.
The average Dustin James. And I am a 35-year-old gaming enthusiast. I was your prototypical bubble boy who learned his, share of the games growing up in lieu of friendship, and just want to come and talk about it.
So you're probably already listening to us if you're listening to this. So listen to them instead.
This traumatized childhood anonymous now.
Yeah, what was I going to say?
Honestly,
at this point.
That's
what it turns into half the conversations.
Our podcast is now officially...
Get to the grist of why we love gaming.
I was traumatized. I was normal as hell, just talking about normal people, never bullied, have a soft spot for bullying nonetheless, because all of my favorite people in the world have been bullied.
I love bullying.
I'm just lucky enough to have not have been bullied, because I never talked about what I liked.
You have no idea.
I never talked about it.
I always loved, and to go on a complete tangent on this, that I was 6'2" since I'm about 11 years old. Towered over all the other kids.
Dude.
Had facial hair in 5th grade, yet I was still the target of bullying.
Jeez.
God bless those brave children.
Yeah, honestly.
I was on the... I'm not going to say I was anywhere near your size, but I was always on the bigger side of mine as well. And something tells me, and I was always picked on by the much shorter kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. It's like
They have something to prove,
They have something to prove. It's almost like it's almost like the big dog versus the little dog mind complex. Whereas the little dog is, come here, I'll fuck you up. I swear to God, come here. And the big dog's like, I want to go sleep.
It's so true. Like all like the obnoxious dogs I've ever experienced have always been the smaller ones. The big ones are always sweet. They're like, oh, hey, pet me. Yeah, I was lucky too. Like I got teased a lot. I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I did get teased a lot. A lot of people were smart asses towards me.
Oh, Justin,
but like,
you're easy to tease.
Yeah, a lot of people used to tease me. But I guess like growing up, I feel like in my school at least, we were all kind of jerks to each other. That it just kind of canceled out.
Yeah, my story echoes Dustin. I was picked on left and right. Even at church, it was really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I don't want to make this about my fucking sob story or anything like that. But yeah, it was fucking bad.
Yeah,
real people hurting.
Yeah.
So this is now officially Video Game Traumatized Childhood Anonymous. Thank you for joining us.
We will get a lot. We will get a lot more followers this way.
But that said,
there are a lot
like
of stories.
Reality. Like, does anyone think that it's as bad now that video games are more popular?
Are you kidding
Do
me?
you think people are
Now
getting
it's.
teased
Do you
like
play
that?
Fortnite? Oh my god!
So, I think, like,
I play
Weirdo
Fortnite.
kids, maybe kids who like kind of like when I was in high school and elementary school, not really, but middle school. If you wore a Naruto headband, you were freaking weird.
right.
Yeah.
And I still kind of stand that they were a little bit
Valid.
weird.
It's still a little bit weird. It's just but not necessarily in a bad way. It's good to be different, but your weeb is showing.
I almost like didn't tell a lot of people that I was really into games. They knew, but like I wouldn't like be as open about it as I was. So I was like, I'm like, yeah, I was playing this Japanese game, whatever. I'll stay at a bar, I don't care. Because I don't know, I went through this phase in college. I was like, why the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
Don't.
And ever since then, it's like that's just who I've been.
It's because it's normal now. I think that's
Well, that's
why.
exactly
People
what it is.
That's
stream,
part of
why
it,
we
yeah.
feel comfortable talking.
It became
Thank God.
It became akin to
I
like
thought it's
a.
normal, dude.
Yeah.
It bothered the shit out of me. I was bullied to school, back, church, back. It didn't fucking matter. Anywhere I went, I was bullied because I played games.
And
What the fuck was with that stigma to begin with?
Yeah, and the funny part is like games have arguably had a better influence on me than most other things in life, which is
Definitely agreed.
It's funny because I used to go to people's houses and play games, but then I would get made fun of for just staying inside and playing games. Like you had no problem with me coming over and playing with you. But the fact that the other 98% of my time was playing games by myself, I was like, ugh, this hurt.
yeah. I was like, whoa, what the heck? Why don't you go play basketball? It's like,
Yeah, it became akin to like.
Basketball, you freaking break your leg and you like pull tendons and you have to get surgeries at like 17.
There's something called Nintendo thumb. We had our injuries too, but I had
Mine
ricket thumbs for like 6 years of my life.
I'm asthmatic. I had no desire to be physically active just because it would always result in trouble breathing and just it fucking sucked.
Him too. Dustin was in a
Well,
bubble.
I was a bubble boy.
Oh, man.
For the first 3 years of my life, so I became the kid in the neighborhood that, and I always tell her this, like somebody would knock on this is pre-internet in the early '80s. Somebody would knock on the door and be like, "You know how to get out of Solomon's key?" I'm like, "Come on, sit inside." Like, thanks. This will mean we're friends, you know. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I understand.
Wow,
I know
what
our
a
arrangement.
what a fucking dickhead. What the fuck?
I know
What
this
the
arrangement.
actual fuck? Anyway, so like what did I do? Solomon's Key. It's funny you mentioned that. They put that up on the Nintendo.
Yeah, it's the classic stuff.
Stuff thingy.
Yeah.
Their poor man's virtual console, I'll call it.
Yeah.
And that game's a lot of fucking fun.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
had
If you
never
actually sit down and
never
try to figure
played
it
it
out.
or heard of it before. I was like, what the fuck is this? Click. Oh, where has this been my life?
Yeah.
The music's great too. I think that's Tim Foley.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot better than that.
Was that Hudson?
I don't know.
That was Tecmo, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was Tecmo.
as long as it wasn't.
Yeah, because there's a sequel called Fire and Ice that's
Yeah.
like super expensive, and that's also Tecmo. Don't
I
ask me how
have.
that
I
is.
think when I'm bored and I've literally got nothing to do, which is like waiting
Yeah, it's
for something to
Tecmo.
happen. It's a quick pick it up and keep going.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Them adding save states has actually tremendously helped these old NES games, giving them save files where they did have them previously.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I know it's not
that's
so
all
fun.
you do
We
have
can make it
less
past the
time.
first 3 levels now, Charlie.
What were we playing where every time you died it reset? 100%.
There's a good chunk of games that used to be merciless like that.
What games
I'm
do
trying to-
that?
I mean, there
It's
was
very rogue.
If you play Diablo 2 on hardcore mode,
Yeah.
it does that.
Really?
It deletes your character if you die.
What? All your like
Everything
like,
gone.
power-ups, everything? Like all your experience?
Everything.
Yikes.
As in, you have to start over from level 1. You have to make a new character. But that's only if you choose.
Crazy.
That's only if you choose to play hardcore mode. I mean, Minecraft also has a similar fucking a mode called hardcore, also called hardcore mode.
I remember that.
And that's even more brutal because if you die in that one, you have to not only delete your character,
It's like
you
the
have
world.
to delete the world.
Yeah,
So
I remember
everything you
that.
built in that world is
Done.
gone.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know about that.
I remember that mode.
Are you guys familiar with like the mods in Minecraft right now? All the modern mods that are
Oh,
in
not the
there?
new ones.
Are you talking about texture packs or are you talking about like actual mods?
I'm talking, maybe it's texture packs, but I'm thinking actual mods because I know this 5-year-old who is a genius with Minecraft. It taught him how to like spell and everything like that. Like now he knows how to spell because of Minecraft.
Wow.
And he just like goes on his iPad or whatever and like actually like plugs in mods to Minecraft to create this like crazy stuff. So it's even more than just texture packs. It's actual like functional gameplay.
Oh yes, no, that's been around for years.
There was-
No, there's like just new ones that you could just like easily plug in.
Yeah, no, it's
Maybe it's been around.
Wasn't
for
there?
years.
There was
Might have been
one that was
anything.
like somebody built a Game Boy emulator in Minecraft or something like that.
Really?
There's crazy shit like that. There's that. There was for a while somebody was doing music, so they had like this giant thing where they would try to like make songs in Minecraft.
yeah, music box.
The music box. No, but like the crazy ones was like they had like a whole field of just like objects that would produce the sounds for
Yeah.
it. Okay, so that's the same thing. Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've added to it,
They
but like
definitely
that
have to.
sort of thing, that sort
I
of
haven't played
thing,
Minecraft in,
that
like,
premise,
years.
that concept. Somebody in vanilla, from what I understand, made a full functioning computer with out of fucking redstone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Redstone can do that. Redstone is the source of all power in Minecraft.
Yes. But
Now
do you know what?
can
Do you know what
have things
my
floating too now?
what?
They have like clear like blocks that you put, so you don't have to like build up and then delete like break down.
Oh,
You just put
wow.
These clear cubes
Okay.
in, and if you like hit a button, they go away, and if you hit another button, you can see them.
Huh?
So you
Damn,
can,
that would
like,
make things
really
easier.
That would
gorgeous
make things
things.
easier.
Jesus Christ, because I used to make some stuff in there, like pixel art. That's so
yeah.
easy.
You have
I had
to
a lot
build
of
all the
fun.
way up, and
Right.
then it's crazy. Now you can just put a bottom, like
Do
a
you-
clear block.
Do you want me to tell you what my favorite thing to do in Minecraft is?
Yeah.
I like to make brown bricks with Minecraft.
What? What is that from?
Brown bricks in Minecraft. Justin,
Yeah.
we got. I can't talk about Minecraft without bringing up brown bricks.
He's making fun of this.
We'll watch it later after the podcast.
Yeah.
You can put it on now, and then I'll like plug it in.
All right,
Or I'll
yeah.
edit it out.
Oh, it's fucking
Hey everybody,
glorious.
I'm here with my good friend
Surface.
Gadget.
There's a negative. It's happening.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Get ready to cringe. Just get ready to fucking
I'm better
cringe.
than you are, so I should do the review.
Do you know what this is?
Alright, well, Inspector Gadget's gonna do the review. You can shut up now. I'm always on duty. Do you have that game Minecraft? Penny was telling me she was playing it on her computer book.
Looks like
Let's
Sean.
play Minecraft.
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 Minecraft? I think that's probably what you're talking about.
Mike.
Let's
It gets so
try
much
that.
better.
Oh yes, this is it. Minecraft. No, Inspector Gadget. It's called Minecraft. Oh, Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Play Minecraft. You know what my favorite thing to do is in Minecraft? I love building bricks with Minecraft. Building bricks with Minecraft is the best thing and the most amount of fun you can have while playing it out.
Cringing yet?
I understand why all the kids are playing this game these days. It's because they like to build brown bricks with Minecraft.
Brown bricks.
What is the point of Minecraft? Well, there really is no point. It's a sandbox.
It's just fucking Legos,
I love building
It's
Minecraft.
fucking Legos.
No, that just means you
Legos
can
that actually do shit.
build stuff and mess around. What kind of stuff can you build? Well, anything really. Like there's one guy that built a scale model of the Starship Enterprise. My deduction skills as a detective tell me he has quite possibly never had sex. Come on,
Sick burn, bruh.
But he is just copying a fake rocket
Is that Mike
ship
Mattei?
blueprint.
It's Mike
That's
Mattei.
Mike Mattei, yeah.
It's Mike Mattei. Yeah, it's Mike.
Oh, you did better, huh? I have a robotic implant in my brain that lets me perform 12 quadrillion calculations per second.
Stupid.
I can rewrite the entire game's code.
It's so perfect though. It's like that little. It's like the room of YouTube videos. It's unintentional
You should comment
genius.
that. This is the room of YouTube videos.
This is the Hume of YouTube videos. Yes. Yes. Oh.
But I think that the kid who used Minecraft in a unique and complex yet beautiful way, making an application.
Well, he's
I
dead.
told you to shut up, but you didn't listen. Oh look, a free iPad.
That was stupid.
It was.
What's your
Yeah.
bathroom at, Justin?
It's right there.
6 drinks caught up with me.
Let's just pause until he gets back.
Yeah, and then we can
Nobody
Let's
talk
start.
about games. Let's talk about something completely irrelevant.
puppies
Puppies.
and cats.
All right, so can we just agree that corgi puppies look like little tiny nuggets? They're literally just nuggets. They're like this big.
What about their heads?
I was gonna say that maybe their tails.
Their bodies look like little nuggets,
Yeah.
like little hot dog. They look
They're
little
like-
mini hot dogs. Ironically.
Look up corgi puppies right now. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. They're basically just tiny nuggets.
I like how you had a dog point of conversation immediately prepared. Corgis. What are they, nuggets or dogs? Corgi butt.
Corgi butts.
Corgi butts are corgis, like full grown, are basically mobile loaves of bread.
Not to talk about video games, but I play this anime fashion game on my phone called Love Nikki, and I'm obsessed with it, and I spent over $100 on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
It's-
yes.
Dude, you don't even know how into it. And it's just for like freaking clothes I buy. And like fake clothes that
Oh,
are
I
made
see
over
the
me.
ads on Facebook all the time. Is the story as much of a mess as the ads make it look?
I don't even pay attention to the story.
Did
But
you play?
honestly, it's like they're really on point with their stories. Like, I don't read them because I just like could care less.
Is it a
But-
visual novel?
No, it's just like there's so much. It's such a complex game, and I don't want to get on a rant about Love Nikki, but it's like my favorite thing in the world because I'm a casual piece of shit.
Did you ever play My Horse Prince?
No, I never heard of my horse.
Oh my
Prince.
god, you gotta play My Horse Prince.
Well, you look that up. Love Nikki has like you can do like a weekly dress up challenge for a theme. They have like stages with story where you have to like dress up per theme. They have like little events where you can unlock different outfits and like different pieces of outfits by like doing detective work or like doing little stages. I'm talking about Love Nikki.
I figured.
Dude.
He's like, oh, I've heard this shit.
I heard Alpha's
And
like
in New York
it.
City, Love Nikki sponsored their masquerade.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really
I gotta look
cool.
them
I like started crying.
But yeah, My Horse Prince is an otome, but you get a horse prince, and you
That's-
get to raise him.
Ridiculous.
And it's
The only
free.
mobile game I really play is Fire Emblem Heroes because Fire Emblem is crack cocaine in game form. I don't get what it is about Fire Emblem that makes it so addicting, but I've been hooked since my first Fire Emblem
Yeah.
game on GameCube. It was Path of Radiance. I started off, and it's crazy. I started with what is easily, arguably, the best game in the series, and I'm a sucker for a Man in the Mask villain archetype, and that game has that. And and then the main character was completely relatable. The story was really good. It dealt with like some really like real themes like racism and shit like that.
That's
And
cool. A lot of
Yeah.
old games did have heavier themes to them. They were very deep.
this is GameCube.
Yeah, Fire Emblem was really crazy with that, like Path of Radiance, because I played it a few years back. And I was like, this is surprisingly
Real.
well written. Yeah.
No, it's phenomenal. And I'm not trying to say that other games just aren't as good as it, because everyone's got their favorite. And here's the thing: if you like Fire Emblem, if one of your favorite games is a Fire Emblem game, I don't care what game it is, you're all right by me, kid.
Fire Emblem keychain.
But the thing is
That's a
that
good one,
It was
too. That's a good
gifted.
one.
the thing about Path of Radiance is that is just that is the pinnacle experience. It does everything right, and no game in the series since, to me, has done as many things right as Path of Radiance did. And it's a wonderful experience. And what I really need Nintendo to do is make that game more accessible, because
Yeah, for sure.
secondhand buying it pre-owned on the internet. Pre-owned. The game's $226.
Do you own it?
I do own it.
Good.
I own it. My little brother owns a copy. So, God forbid anything happens to mine, I can just go and borrow
I had
it.
to like.
Because my
Did it
copy
come near
actually,
this?
you lost yours, remember?
Yo, I remember I had to. I bought my copy on St. Patrick's Day and Book Off in New York because they had it there. I think it was like $90, and I was like, I want this game, but I don't want to pay $90. I came home, I found a bunch of games to trade. I think I traded in like Persona 4, Ultimax, I think Metroid.
So you have it. Well, you're telling me you have it.
I do have it, and I have to trade in like 3 games to get it down to $30. And I have to fight through a crowd and
Why
go
did
to
you
St.
trade
Patrick's
games
Day.
in?
Because I was dumb and wanted to play it.
Do you
and didn't
wish
want
that
to
you
play.
had those games back?
Actually, no, I don't.
You don't? They were like...
Those games, those games were like, I didn't really play them a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. If you're not playing a game a lot and you don't really have any attachment to it, like, get rid of it.
Yeah, I
It's
do
like
that.
physical games, I'm sorry, like, unpopular opinion, digital's where it's at. I had to put in a disc the other day to my Xbox because I only have Overwatch on disc. We were watching Avatar:
smallest violin.
We were watching a freaking DVD, and I'm
You
like,
literally went,
it took me like 15
you want me to get that for you?
to get up, walk over, and then plop back on my bed like a piece of shit and like play Overwatch and destroy. But I had to put in a disc the other day, and I just hated it.
Who do you main in Overwatch? I'll see if I know the character.
Moira.
Yep, no idea who that is.
She looks like
is that the cowboy?
Tilda Swinton.
I think I know
Everybody says
Moira.
that.
Yes.
Moira is freaking hot. I love her.
Oh, okay.
She's a badass bitch. She does damage and healing. She phases out like in and out so she can like warp around.
Isn't Matt Mercer's character a cowboy?
McCree, yeah.
I just love how he likes to jump in and he plays Overwatch. And he'll be on voice chat with Mike and he'll just shout out McCree's ultimate line.
It's high noon.
And people will be like, what the fuck is McCree?
That's amazing. He's like Zarya.
Yeah, I do. I play. I kind of got
Target
the.
somewhere.
I don't play Overwatch. I would if there was like actually a story mode, like a story
Really?
story. Yeah, I would because the thing is I kind of got my feel for this kind of game with Team Fortress 2 when after Valve made it free. I went in there and I was like, oh boy, I finally get to play this. I kept dying every like 2 seconds. I'd
Yeah.
walk out and I'd just get destroyed.
That's
I'm
any
not good at.
multiplayer game.
I'm not good at first-person games.
Yeah.
The only first-person shooter I can hold my own in is the original Halo on PC.
Yeah.
And that's just because I dumped hours and hours and hours into it. I played CE. I played the custom edition. I played on the custom maps that people used to make. Halo CE was something free that I think Microsoft actually did. If you had the original game, you could download CE from Microsoft's website or whatever, and it was Halo Custom Edition, which enabled you to make user-generated multiplayer maps and play on them. Making the maps was, a different tool altogether. And you needed to know how to program and all that other shit, and model and whatever. I didn't know how to do it. But that said, people made some really fucking crazy shit. Like, the Scarab in Halo 2? It's a Covenant weapon. It's the giant walker.
Let's say I know what that is.
Okay, so let's say you know what that is. So, to all my fans at home who know what a Scarab is, CE actually allowed you to make your own Scarab and make it playable. Like you could drive the damn thing, and it was nuts. It depended on what sort of features the creator of that particular map put in, but yeah, you'd see things like that. You had everything from you could even pilot Tachicomas from Ghost in the Shell. Like people had modeled and rigged
That's
those.
cool.
Sweet.
That was and that was a lot of fun. It all depends on what sort of things they put in. Like you had things ranging from like fighter jets to there was one really popular map called Cold Snap that had this custom vehicle that was completely original called the Mythos or the Mythos.
Okay.
And that thing was basically like a walking nuke launcher. It was fucking great. And you get all sorts of custom weapons. CE let you do all sorts of crazy things. Like you could mod the shit out of Halo on PC if I wanted, and that's something I was able to do. If I wanted to take a pistol and have it shoot scorpion tank bullets, I could do that.
It's kind of the big difference between PC and console, and I think that's why like PC will always win. You just have way more freedom with it. You can almost mod anything on that.
You also have to have the technical know-how to do so, and for me...
I mean, like you, meaning like people.
People in general, I know, I get that. But I think that consoles were always going to be sort of a definitive gaming experience, only just because
Price
you do
point?
have... Well, yeah, there is the price point.
The initial price point.
The initial price point, there's the exclusives, so you do get those, and then that you can't get on PC. And yeah, you could argue that you could hack the game, and like people could play Breath of the Wild on PC with the emulators. And, yeah, but not really. It's not going to be quite the same. And the thing about consoles is that you get those controllers, you get the reliability. I mean, I have a gaming PC, but after a certain while, it just the PC starts to slow down, and then you have to go and you have to pay money to upgrade it.
Yeah, it's like a constant.
It's a constant recovery thing. And for the differences in graphics, frame rates, and all that stuff doesn't mean a lot to me. As long as the game runs fine on its home console, it's good enough for me. And I get PC gaming, and I get the whole PC Master Race thing mentality, but honestly, I feel like PC is good, but when games are made for a specific console, and I'm all about exclusives. That's the thing. Like I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and you're never gonna see Mario Odyssey on PC.
Yeah.
Ever, because and you're never going to see something like Skyward Sword, which is rumored to be getting an HD remake. You're never gonna see that on PC either, because there's technology that's specifically made to work with Nintendo consoles and their software. And that's like a definitive experience to me. That's one of the reasons why I'm always going to really be a hardcore gamer. I've tried PC gaming. I built a monster gaming PC, and yeah, what games I play with it. I mean, I remember having a lot of fun with Saints Row, the third.
Most of it's like online now with PC specifically as well. Like you have like Skyrim.
Free online is a massive benefit. I will say that. If you're playing through Steam and you have free online, that's awesome. Nobody looks forward to paying those subscription fees on the consoles, and I'll give PC that.
I don't even think about it at this point. Like I've worked into my lifestyle with these subscriptions. When people complain about subscriptions, it just like drives me bonkers. It's just the way it is. Like get over it.
Like the people who were complaining about the Nintendo subscription service, like I was reading article after article. I'm like, it's $20 fucking dollars.
It's one of the more reasonable ones.
Get the fuck out of here.
That goes into a bigger conversation about video game pricing. A lot of people they complain about games today. They're like, "Oh, this is only 10 hours at $60. I'm not gonna buy it. This is stupid."
Oh, but Jesus Christ, I hate that.
But the thing is, like, people forget just how expensive games used to be.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't remember how expensive they used to be. I remember GameCube
in fact,
being $40.
Pretty sure I paid triple digits for Chrono Trigger.
And I can prove that because in my room,
or something like that.
In my room, hold that thought. I'm gonna go get this because I still have it. I found an old Nobody Beats the Wiz ad from like 1995, and Chrono Trigger is in it, and it's like $90. I can go find it in my room, and I'll bring it down. People forget just how expensive games used to be back then. Cartridge games, RPGs were always top dollar.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until around the PlayStation where things started to get a little bit cheaper. I mean, it was like the thing with PC and like digital gaming is that it's convenient.
Yeah.
And for years, console gaming wasn't convenient. We're at a point where it is starting to become more convenient because the price point is much better. The availability is much better. We now know release dates. Release dates wasn't a thing for a very long time.
Really? They just were like, hey, this is coming out.
When you saw the commercial or you saw the Nintendo Power article, that was it.
That was it. A lot of
Or you'd walk in the store and, holy fuck! Donkey Kong Country 2 is out!
So here's the thing, like in the 90s, a lot of games don't have release dates in the States, and it's because a lot of stores, the release date was when they got the shipment.
Yeah.
And that's why like Sonic 2 is actually a notable game because Sonic Tuesday, it was one of the earliest examples of a game having a dedicated release date. Because and that's kind of like what makes gaming today a lot more accessible than it's ever been. And I think a lot of people forget that. They forget that we got it better. Games are cheaper than they've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, $50 for a game, fine, don't want to buy it at launch, that's fine.
But that really puts that spoiled perspective of like complaining about when a release date gets pushed back. Back in the day, you didn't even fucking know
you know it was coming out.
Yeah.
It was whenever the store got it.
Wouldn't you rather have the better game anyway?
Exactly.
People just like complaining. If you go
Complaint
on
culture.
YouTube, why
Yeah.
this game sucks, why this game's dying,
Yeah.
why this is trash, why that's trash, why this should have been this. Like, everything is just hating on everything because it's what gets views.
That's it, and that's exactly it. If you want views on the internet, shit on something popular.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, and I'm not trying to shamelessly plug myself, but in my show,
What is your
my show is called Retro Roulette. Thanks for asking. Your check is in the mail. My show is called Retro Roulette, and right now, as we're recording this, we're going through a run of a very, I would say at this point, it's controversial whether it's good or not. And I know what side of the fence I sit on, but it's at the forefront of my mind at all times. The game is Donkey Kong 64.
I love that game. I love the DK rap.
Okay, what else do you love about the game?
I liked shooting coconut guns. And it was like puzzles
Do you like
too.
switching characters every 5 seconds to go collect random bananas that are inconveniently placed right next to other colored coins that
I
are also
didn't care
required
at
you to
the
back?
age that I was. When that came out, I was probably like 10.
Okay.
And I was playing Donkey Kong, it was 64, and it just looked good. There's all these fun new characters. There's a
All
girl
right.
monkey, like.
Let's go back to
with pigtails.
1995.
Beautiful.
Put it really quickly.
1995.
Don't open it yet.
Yep.
So
Nobody beats
the
the
reason
whiz
I
but
like Donkey
Walmart.
Kong 64
Yeah,
is it was just fun. You get to run around. It was open world, which Donkey Kong never was before. You got to like find like puzzles by like shooting random buttons to open up gates. Like that was cool for Donkey Kong.
See, I had done...
At a young age, I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
So I grew up with Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64 and then Banjo-Tooie. I missed Donkey Kong 64 growing up, in that era. I don't know how I missed it, but the thing is like after having played Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie and comparing them to DK64, DK64 is... no way to sugarcoat it. It's a pain in the ass.
If I played it now, I might agree. I don't remember how difficult it was.
It's not don't get me wrong. The game's not hard by any stretch of the imagination.
It's cumbersome.
It's just it's very
Like fetch questy?
no, not fetch questy. It's just a pain in the ass with the constant switching. There's no other way to really explain it. It's just a pain. I in a recent episode of ours I just came out and said this game is Inconvenient 64. Inconvenient 64. It's just they'll take coins for one character, put them right next to a balloon with another character, and then put random colored bananas with a different character still. So you have to it's
That's
like in this
kind of
romantic.
cool.
So you have
need
to
all
go,
characters in this one spot to get everything.
but it's just picking them up.
Yeah.
And you have to go back. You have to go back to this barrel, switch, go back, back, and there's no challenge to that. There's no challenge to it other than walking from a barrel, walking back to point A,
But it is
walking
like
back
for
to the
kids.
barrel.
So it gives them gameplay without
So,
being difficult.
I feel like it's busy work under the guise of substance.
So
It is busy work.
Yes. Yes.
So here's the
I
thing.
mean-
And
It's a chore. It's a chore.
It is a chore, but, and I'm going to sound like I'm defending this game for a second. I have a feeling that, I know, right? I have a feeling that the reason the game was designed that way, it was something that I felt like a lot of other platforms at the time also suffered from.
Guilty.
Because,
guilt collecting.
yeah, because they wanted to show 3D off.
Right.
In fact, a lot of older games, as you think about it, flight was often used as something to work towards. You always worked towards actually being able to fly. That was the case in a lot of Super Nintendo RPGs, because what happens when you fly? You saw it in Mode 7.
Yep.
Pilot Wings, it's a flight sim, Mode 7. Flight is one of the easiest ways to portray the third dimension in a gaming environment.
Shout out to
At the
Superman
time.
64.
Shout out to
Ooh,
Superman
yeah.
64. So I think for a lot of games of that era, they emphasized you moving around a lot, even to a detriment, just because they wanted to show off the 3D.
Yeah.
You're
Right, but
I'm not defending it. I'm not saying it's great, but I just think
understand.
that's probably why.
But the things that you see, I'm pretty sure Banjo-Kazooie came out before DK64.
Right.
And Banjo-Kazooie showed off 3D.
It showed off 3D.
In every way
Absolutely.
you should have showed off 3D. It was perfect. It was, you had your collectathon, but it wasn't a pain in the ass. If you could give, we're working on a video on it right now of how to fix DK64. And if you could pause the game and switch characters, similar to how you could do it in Country, where you just press a button. So if you could just pause the game and that brings up the barrel, and you could switch right then and there, that would be ideal. The only problem with that is that you had some challenges or quests or special areas that can only be accessed or completed by certain Kongs. But all you would need to do is just make it so that if you pause the game, just say this character cannot be swapped at this time. And problem solved. The whole game would be in a completely different light. Another problem I actually have with DK64, and this is a more minor complaint compared to the constant switching, is you have this huge issue of hallways. I'm finding that there are a lot of hallways in DK64, and it's very easy to get lost without any kind of map. When Banjo-Kazooie, everything's out in the open. There are specific zones for each world. It felt right. Whereas with DK, even with the first world, Jungle Hijinks, everything looks the same.
Everything looks the same.
Everything looks the same. And when I'm running down a hallway, I don't know where I'm going. And I'm not really learning these levels because there's really no way to differentiate between them.
It all just blends in. And you know what? Like, I never fully play through DK64.
Yeah.
I have it. I played it for a while and I got really bored. And honestly, that's probably part of it because there's not a whole lot of it that's really that really stands out to me. Compare that to a game that came out later, but like, let's say Jet Set Radio Future, which is essentially a collectathon platformer.
Right.
But everything about that game is distinct. You don't get bored when you play it because everything is different. You're always doing something weird to get to where you want to get to the different graffiti tags. Versus DK64, everything kind of just blends together. You're just kind of walking. You feel like you kind of lose your sense of purpose when you're playing it.
I do. I have no sense of purpose other than to collect.
Right.
And then what am I collecting for? To feed bananas to a fucking overweight, morbidly obese pig so I can go fight a boss with a power-up I don't even have? Fuck you, Fear Factory. Holy shit. I'm sorry. If you want to see how my reactions in real time to Donkey Kong 64, go check out our episodes on Retro Roulette.
But yeah, like I said before, I don't think it did it well, but I can see
what they were going
for. I can absolutely understand, especially in the context of the era.
And like 5 playable characters, that's great.
That sounds great.
That's awesome. I mean, holy shit, 5 Kongs, 3 of which have never been seen before in a game.
And have a lot of personality.
And they did, yeah. And that was fine. That's part of the game I actually enjoy is the different Kongs.
This is why
I really don't like having to switch between them to go pick up bananas.
Fair enough.
This is why I hope that you guys roll.
Levels or something.
There's an N64 game I hope you roll on. It's called Goemon's Great Adventure.
I really hope I roll on that too.
Because I feel like Goemon's Great Adventure is kind of Donkey Kong 64 done right.
Okay.
And I guess you could say the prequel as well, too, because you get different characters, you get the different ninjas, and they all have special abilities.
That's Mystical Ninja, right? The prequel? Okay.
Mystical Ninja starring Goemon is the prequel, and then Goemon's Great Adventure came out after.
We're going to get Phil from ProGen Change.
Yeah, if you can make it down here, then that would be amazing.
Yeah, we roll on that. Like I've specifically said, we'll get Phil from
he will love that.
ProGen
sure.
Reviews.
That's a great channel, by the way.
Yeah, great channel. If you like anime, check out ProGen Reviews.
Yeah, because he knows his stuff.
He does. And his reviews are very well done.
And the thing is, like, what was cool about Goemon is you had, I feel like Goemon's Great Adventure was kind of like the culmination of all the different things they tried from that era. So you had the DK64, you even had some Majora's Mask in there where all the NPCs had a schedule and story to them. And the game would go in real time. You had day and night cycles. And there was even 2D side-scrolling parts where it felt like an old Castlevania game, which is nuts. It's like, I feel like that was one of the best examples of a way to just sum up all the things they tried to do in the N64 era in just one game. And that's why I think you would really enjoy it.
That was actually one of the things that surprised me most. I popped in Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, and I distinctly remember as a kid thinking, why can't I use the control stick? Why is it's 2D?
It's 2D.
It's 2D. And lo and behold, Kirby 64 remains to be one of my favorite Kirby games. Actually, it is my favorite Kirby game in the entire series. But you mentioned Majora's Mask. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the single greatest game ever made?
I
Yeah.
love hearing about Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is
Really
really
good.
great. It did
so-
a lot of different things.
So it took everything that Ocarina of Time did right, and it did it. It took that, did it again with the dungeons, the boss fights, the just moving around the world, the combat, the Z targeting. Sorry, Aaron, I like the Z targeting system.
Who doesn't like it?
Aaron from Game Grumps, he absolutely hates it. but it's just go watch his sequelitis video on it.
Oh, no.
That'll explain everything. But then they added these masks, these transformation masks that it's like
They're
another.
just cool.
It's just cool, and it changed up the gameplay so drastically for each one.
And the
The
timing
Deku
thing,
flower
too.
gave you the ability to hover if you shot out of a flower. The Goron mask gave you unmatched and unprecedented speed in getting from place to place. The Zora mask gave you the ability to swim through and coast through and soar through the oceans, and it was awesome. And then there's the Fierce Deities mask that you get at the end of the game that just basically makes you God if you're fighting a boss fight, including the final boss. Everything's a joke at that point. And such like levels of unprecedented, like that's your reward for like getting everything.
Yeah.
And it felt like a reward. That was like,
Because you're like OP.
and then you have these other masks that did little different little things. There are these little nuances that, like for example, you take the Brendan mask. That's the one that lets you sort of march around.
Okay.
If you take that and you go into the Icana King's throne room and you start playing that, the king's soldiers will start dancing to it in tune with it, and they'll like form a line with you. It's hilarious. There's so much hidden, so many hidden, like beautiful little Easter eggs in the game. So much to do, so much to see. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time, and the NPC cycles, the NPCs, we got to talk about that. They feel real. They feel like
They have their own
people.
personality. It's not just like one line of script and then it's like, okay, well.
If you compare
Next.
Ocarina of Time's script and the dialogue compared to Majora's Mask, it's night and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Pun intended.
Right. They feel flat. They feel like the dialogue was written by a 7-year-old. And I don't know if that was a translation thing or if that was just,
Them getting
uninspired
right.
writing. But it was Zelda, and Ocarina of Time, to be fair, was Zelda's first leap into 3D. But what blows my mind is that Majora's Mask had a development cycle of 1 year, and you see what can happen if you just reuse assets and how much you can add to it. Like, for example, when the moon is about to crash, you've got less than 6 hours. You're in the final hours phase, and the whole song that makes you start fucking freaking out because the world is ending is playing. If you go into the dojo and you chop down the sign in the back, you can see the dojo master cowering in a corner going, I'm scared, I don't want to fight the moon, I don't want to die. That feels real.
Yeah.
Like he's cowering for his life. It's very immersive. It's very immersive, and we have to also mention the Anju and Cafe side quest where you get their plight, you get their story, and it's like, yeah, you want to help them. Like for me at the time as a kid, I wanted to help them not because I wanted the couple's mask. The couple's mask doesn't do a damn thing other than get you a piece of heart. But that side quest, I cared. I found myself actually caring about these characters and in this world. I mean, the whole premise of the game is all these people are filled with life, and they did a great job of making them feel lifelike.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, in 3 days, that comes down, everyone
dead.
fucking
And
dies.
you're like, I don't want these people to die. They're good people.
And it's crazy with that side quest
Yes.
we'll spoil it, screw it.
Yeah.
So that side quest, So obviously you're trying to reunite these two lovers, and when you do reunite them, you eventually do, but you reunite them on the last day, literally seconds before they die.
Seconds before they die, and there's nothing you
There's
can
nothing
do.
you can do but save yourself.
Save yourself at that point, unless you go and you stop the moon from crashing at that
Right.
particular point.
But good luck doing that. You gotta be real fast.
Well, you can.
Oh, you can do it?
Oh yeah, no, there's absolutely there's if you have time slowed down, you have a good 4 minutes to get over there.
Oh, jeez.
So it's
So you gotta rush. It's like Metroid.
oh no, you absolutely have to go. It's either you go back in time or you go stop the moon.
Right.
One or the other. There's time to do absolutely nothing else. And yes, I'm glad you mentioned that because they choose to be together at the end, and that's what matters most. And this was so heart-wrenching about the whole thing, it's so bittersweet, is they're at
Right.
the end of the world and they're together, and it doesn't matter that they're about to die. The fact is that they're together at the end. And that's just so beautiful. There's something so poetic about that. Oh, I'm gushing. I know I'm gushing. But that game was so well done.
So that's interesting that we're talking about like all these different. Actually, I was looking up Animal Crossing because I was curious to know if Animal Forest predated Majora's or not. But it actually came out a year later.
What's Animal Forest?
Animal Forest was the N64 version of Animal Crossing.
Was that Japanese only?
That was Japanese only.
I've never
See,
heard of
I
that.
heard about that. I heard that there was going to be
So-
an Animal Crossing on N64, but I thought it had gotten scrapped.
No,
altogether.
it came out in Japan.
Crazy.
Came out in Japan, and when they
I need to
were
look that up
and when they were
after
porting it to the States,
Fucking Japanese
you
hoarding
didn't
all
get
the
that? Yeah.
hoarding all the good shit.
Oh shit! Now I wanna go.
They
to
hoard
the
all the good
translation
shit.
after this.
yeah. So I was curious to know if Animal Crossing actually predated Majora's, but no, Majora's beats it by about a year. But like, it's interesting that Majora's is, I think, might be one of the first 3D games to try to do that, because otherwise, the closest game I could think of to really have a real life world that adapts that way is probably Harvest Moon.
I would argue Pokemon Gold and Silver
Yeah, but
with the day and night cycles.
Harvest Moon came first. I'm talking like before.
Oh, did it?
Before we got Harvest Moon, I believe the first one was on Super Nintendo, and that was '96.
Do you think they took some influence from Harvest Moon on that, or?
I wonder. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I know if we've had in-game clocks as early as the Game Boy, it's possible.
No, it's possible because we've had I can think of Harvest Moon is one of them that did the in-game clock. Another one is on the Saturn with Nights,
Right.
Christmas Nights, that had in-game clock as well. And another one where, actually, speaking of Nights is the first instance of the A-Life.
What's the A-Life?
That's the Chow system in Sonic Adventure. Nights is actually the first implementation of that.
So much.
Oh, God, me
I
too.
love the
The
child.
hours I fucking wasted.
what I was saying
The
is-
only reason I played through the game was to get stuff for my chows.
But
I
yeah,
respect that.
there's two games that do this on the Super Nintendo that I can think of. If other people think of other games that have a real time clock, Harvest Moon's one of them. Another one is an obscure Japanese RPG called Tengai Makyo Zero, and what that game does
Can
is
you translate the title for us? What does that mean in English?
it's Far East of Eden Zero is what was supposed to be the localized title of it, because Tengai Makyo is a old series of Japanese RPGs, very popular in Japan, and we almost got a couple of them. The only one that was localized was the fighting game for Neo Geo. And Tengai Makyo Zero was on Super Nintendo, and that has an in-game clock too. So you can put the date, and depending on the actual day that you're playing it, certain things will happen in game.
Yeah.
So it'll recognize like certain holidays and stuff like that in game. And I believe that came out in '94 even.
Holy shit.
But yeah, that's like the only ones I can think of that really tried to do the real-time aspect. It did the game is playing without you playing it thing that Animal Crossing was famous for.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Far East of Eden Zero, December 22nd, 1995. So it's 1995 that I did that.
I think we should wrap this up because we
You guys
gotta
have plans.
Yeah,
we gotta get to retro
Yeah.
roulette.
No, that's cool. Before we stop it, I want to ask everybody this, and I just made this up in my head right now because it's
Sure,
just like what
perfect.
we're doing. I want to ask you guys what your favorite video game is. You don't need like a long thing, but that's how I'm going to end every episode with what your favorite video game is.
Okay.
Are you guys
Okay.
cool with that?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
All right.
For me, I feel like, first of all, I want to apologize. I feel like I was exceptionally talkative, and if I spoke too much or I talked over anybody, just want to clear room. That's
Somebody will tell you to shut up.
so, there are going to be comments going, Anthony, for the love of God, shut the fuck up!
Happy with that.
My wife will probably be the first one in the comments typing that in all caps.
She's doing it now.
Your guest
The
is
video's
trash.
not even up yet, and she's already typing that shit. Anyway,
Destroyed.
She has it copied into her
but
clipboard.
that said, my favorite game of all time is Majora's Mask, with Undertale as a very close second.
Oh wow, that's pretty modern too. That's interesting.
Yes.
So I guess if I was to pick one single game, it would have to be So I know everybody knows. I was expecting it. So I'm a humongous Mega Man fan, and I guess like it's hard to pick one game from the Mega Man series. That's my favorite video game. I would say it's Mega Man 6 because that was the first one I ever had as a kid, and the music from that has been a major inspiration throughout my whole life. Mega Man's always been there for me. It's kind of grown up with me. a lot of my interests and personality have come from me playing Mega Man. So it would be, I guess I would say Mega Man as a series would be my favorite game of all time. Otherwise, it would probably be Chrono Trigger and Xenoblade, which I have a long story about Xenoblade and why that's one of my favorites. And yeah, that's how I'm gonna wrap that up.
All right.
One last question, really quickly.
Yeah.
Have either of you played Blazing Dragons?
No, never heard
So
of it.
I've almost bought it on like so many occasions. I keep seeing, I'm like, oh, I gotta buy this because I remember you told me about it. You're like, oh, I love Blazing Dragons.
Nobody's ever bought it or played it or seen it ever.
Yeah,
Cut that.
It's good. Play it.
yeah. I really want to play it. The voice acting is really good in it because I've watched clips. It's very Monty Python-esque, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly. Cool. Well, thank you both for being on our first episode of our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
/ video podcast.
We'll be back for
Please
more.
do.
Dude.
It was so much fun. You can leave
Sure.
too.
Hey guys, thank you for listening.
And make sure to give us a follow, depending on what platform you're listening to this on. Give us a like, and you can catch us on twitch.tv/real_people_gaming, on Twitter @realppl_gaming, on YouTube @real.people.gaming, and on Instagram @real.people.gaming. Yes, guys, Instagram, not Instagram, Instagram.